You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What they need. What they need.
Bring it down.
See? Everybody knows it's trouble. It's trouble time.
All right. Finally back. Almost, man. We like this close to being the forecast. We got 3 of us right now. Doc should be coming on here in just a minute. And we got a great review for you tonight.
Is it great? Is it?
Mayhem will be in rare form tonight. We're gonna go ahead and speak it into the atmosphere. We definitely, but we live the forecast with myself, A-Trap on the screen there, Mayhem, Doc. I'm gonna pop him up on the screen real quick, and then I'm gonna probably pull him down because I don't know if he. Doc, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
You got me? Yeah, I can't hear y'all.
We can hear you clearly, very clear.
Yeah, we can hear you great. We can hear him just fine. We can hear him. Something's got to be unplugged or something, or in the wrong spot.
Maybe, or check the settings again. But tonight's review is strong.
You don't even excuse me, Ben. You don't have to give me intro. But go ahead.
Straw, the Tyler Perry film, starring Taraji P, Henson, Teyana Taylor, and Tyler Perry's not in it. So it's already above a regular rating than we would normally give it if Tyler Perry was in it.
It's true.
But let's kind of go around the room. But Doc's still trying to kind of work out some kinks there. StreamYard did add this new feature where they put the kind of the chat at the bottom right as the comments are scrolling through. So I turned that feature on. We'll play it out tonight, see what happens. But A-Trap, man, how you doing? Good to see you, man.
Good. I just changed some brakes, so.
Oh, damn. You just changed some brakes like just now?
Oh man, he put in work.
Damn, man. Hey, if you got to take a minute, man.
That's serious business.
Not fault you, man. I would not fault you, man.
What? 4 screws, man. I mean, 8 screws. Cut out 4 screws. That's it.
Front brakes, 8 screws, man. That's all.
Doc, can you hear us?
Now I can't hear him. Something happened. See, something's going on. Now we can't hear you. We can't hear you. At first we could hear him. Maybe he can hear us now, but I can't hear him. Yeah,
we can't hear you. All right, so now check your mic settings. What's your mic settings say?
I'm working on it.
There it is. There
it is right there.
Bring it up.
You got me now?
We got you. We got you. You in there.
I don't know. Okay, got me.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
Okay, no, I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me?
Hey, Mr. George. The weather ain't no working.
Mr. George.
All right. Mr. George,
all right.
How you hired? You no good.
All right. Doc, man, how you doing? Good to see you.
I am fantastic, with the exception of a few technical difficulties.
Y'all see these animals?
I got some lighting. My assistant, I'm gonna have to fire somebody in this mother.
Who the technician? Who the
my wife.
You definitely can't fire her.
Yeah, find out.
Hey, y'all married for life, man.
We stretched too thin. She just texted me. I hope I didn't break it.
All right, Mayhem, man, how you doing? I see you got the dogs behind you.
Yeah, man, my dogs is going crazy. I'm good. They in the dog pound tonight. They don't want no trouble, man. They telling me to calm down. They trying to, Dad, not tonight. But
so your future must be awfully bright, sir.
Oh, it is, because a lot of this show is in trouble tonight. Let me get the dogs out of here first. I don't know what's happening right now.
Who let the dogs in? Hey, Trap, they some pawpaws, ain't they? They laughing at a little like dad jokes like that. Is it because Father's Day was just yesterday?
Because they need to get them out. They need to get them out.
It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time since the forecast, forecast. It's been a couple months.
Just happy to be somewhere.
Thank you, A-Trap and Mayhem, for holding it down last week.
We still want our contracts renewed.
Yeah, you never responded to our demand.
Yeah, our demand. What's up, man?
Hey, it's in the mail. My lawyer is mailing it too. Both of your addresses as we speak.
The lawyer's mailing it, then we ain't gonna get it.
You ain't never gonna get it.
You ain't gonna get it. If your lawyer looks like this, that means you going to jail.
Yeah, you seen that meme where the lawyer got got his pants cuffed up like he got a suit he wearing to church. Yeah,
you in trouble.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the chat. Jungle Brother in the building, man. Thank you for tuning in.
Warren.
Definitely been holding it down on all of the varieties of his shows. Judge Jungle, make sure you subscribe to his channel. Raider Kev in the building, man. Shout out to Raider Kev, man. Raider Kev has been putting in work, taking care of himself. I'm wondering how much weight have you lost, because man, he was really been working on himself, exercising, eating right. Health is wealth, man. We can control that.
Yeah, because what they mean is you ain't paying co-pays when you go into the hospital. That's what they mean.
He said, "Who let the dogs in?" Jeff Short commenting. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm probably be here. I'll be here for the rest of this show. That's all I can commit to until my contract come right.
Oh man.
Miss Hale, aka Lickety Split. What's her name now? Slicky Mick or something like that.
I have no idea.
She's the same name every other month.
Slippery one.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the Father's Day. A-Trap Laugh Out Loud. Brownies from dispensary haven't kicked in yet.
Wow.
Give it a minute.
Building, thank you for tuning in. She said, "I thought I got this show."
You got that kind of power?
Oh, wow. Nichols. Excuse me.
She said, "Get it out of here."
Big Illinois, thank you for tuning in. All right, before we get into the show, we are all dads. So real quick, let's just kind of go around the room. How was your Father's Day? Doc, I'm going to go to you first.
It was good. I got to do exactly what all dads want to do. Not a damn thing. That's it.
Yeah.
I got a big ass bag of M&Ms, which I wanted.
Hey, it's magic, right?
Even though I tried to go back clean and plant-based and stuff today, but I ate the shit out of them M&Ms yesterday.
Dang. Well, the M&Ms are plant-based. They're cocoa leaves and peanuts.
Besides the
trust me. Yeah, I rationalize it. Just give me, probably 15 minutes after the show, I'll rationalize the shit again. Peanuts, cocoa.
Just saying.
There you go.
So yeah, it was fantastic, man. Again, it's not, Father's Day ain't gonna ever measure up, is it? I think this year, for the first time, the Father's Day expenditures actually creeped up a little bit on Mother's Day expenditures, but
sorry.
But that's I think for the most part, just give us a break.
Yeah,
we good.
Yeah, there was a guy across the street that was cutting his lawn, and I was rolled down the window. I was like, "You off today?"
Oh, that was me on Sunday. Yeah, you must have been screaming at me because
yeah,
like, we ain't never off, man.
It don't stop.
The list never ends.
Yeah, man, it don't stop.
And if they would try to let us off, we would have a fucking problem with it. So calm down.
Right.
Exactly.
Calm down.
Exactly.
Zema said, Brian Williams turned me on the plant-based chitlins.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Mayhem. How was your Father's Day?
Oh, Father's Day was great. I mean, had a good time and enjoyed it. But of course, my daughter had one up her sleeve. She wanted to make a chocolate cake, but not to the level of Doc's chocolate cake.
I better not be, because I would have been needed to hear about it.
But she made me a chocolate cake, and I didn't get a chance to take it to the next level. I was going to make a chocolate peanut butter shake with it, but I'll get to that later. But she did great. I enjoyed it. I of course, I'm going to man my grill, because who else is going to man the grill? But other than that, no, it was good, relaxing. Actually, I mean, I thought it was going to fly by, but it was really relaxing, and I think a little. Well, I don't know. I think we got a little rain that moved in, but other than that, it was nice.
Even with the yard mowing.
Oh yeah. I got ahead of that before the rain. Yeah, no, that's nothing to me.
Let me give you a little secret on how to make your weekend last. I learned this from our Caucasian brothers and sisters out there. The more shit you do in your weekend, the longer it'll last. When you just lay around and don't do a damn thing, it's gonna fly by. That's just the way it is. You ain't got. I'm not saying you got to go out bungee jumping and crazy shit like that, but do something.
Yeah. I'm not saying go rob a bank, but
send that picture to us, Keisha, so we can get it uploaded.
Yeah, definitely do that. All right.
Chiropractor's in the church on Gannon. Oh, the old one. Okay.
Oh, the one across the street.
Yeah, I didn't call it on Gannon.
Yeah, I didn't call it that either, but all right, A-Trap.
Whatever.
I was chilling for Father's Day. My kids bought me something to eat. And then
that's
my
good stuff.
daughter, she bought me some kicks today. So
nice.
Okay. Definitely.
Daughter.
Good to hear.
That's why I was fixing brakes.
Your hands was to the plow right before you jumped on.
It was on the barter system.
Pretty much.
The bartering system out here.
I still got to clean the throttle body tomorrow, so no.
Oh, that's it. You just spray something in there.
Yeah.
They got something for that.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was good. Got a workout in.
Nice.
First thing in the morning. Yeah.
Hey man, being out here being subtle, man. Stop. Time out, man. Being out here being subtle, man. Being out here killing these workouts, man.
Is it?
Man. Being out here dropping these pounds, man. He out here putting in this work, man. He out here being cute and shit, man. No, man. Stop, man. I'm out here like a Zeus god out here on Mount Olympus out here. Oh, man. Yeah.
I walk every day on my lunch. But yeah, I went to Orange Theory Fitness is the name of the spot.
Nice.
Hey, you go in there all happy and excited. You go out there.
You dragging. You on the ground, man.
I mean, but it's worth it though. It's nothing, nothing better than a workout.
It's and real quick, it's like even when I was on my trip in Maryland, it was just the weight. Putting on the effing seatbelt on the airplane was a unlockable moment for me because it was just like, damn, like this. I need to tuck it in a little bit, but I mean, you think about those things because it's just like, the last time I was on the airplane, it's a small thing, it's a subtle thing. So, having to buy a new belt because your pants is falling down, like. That's the kind of problems you got. That's what I'm talking about.
It's small things, but Wilkes lost a ton of weight too. I mean, like 6 pounds?
I've been putting in some work, man. Matter of fact, after this, I got to go down and get on the bike tonight. But man, I've been putting in work as much as I can.
Yeah. Went to Brunch Room Bistro. That's in Forney. Was there for about 3-4 hours.
Nice.
Really?
The wait was 3 hours. So we went grocery shopping and then came back.
Why you didn't come to the house, man? I want to chill.
Nah. But Brunch Room had the music and everything. It was a good vibe. It was definitely worth it.
Brioche French toast, turkey bacon.
Hey, had
Hey,
the
Whites, I got you, man. What you doing?
had the most Father's Day gift of all time: socks, balls, and
Hey.
undershirts. I needed it though. I'm
You
good.
can never have too many.
I'm good. All right.
You can never have too many.
Because that pinky toe was hanging out of a couple of them, so I had to switch them out.
Not the pinky toe.
The pinky toe was hanging out, man, and then you trying to tuck it under and all that. But
yeah, come on.
All right, Wanga, thank you for tuning in. He said, fellas, how are you?
Right now.
We're doing
good. Doing all right.
This guy right here, see, we got a new name for chitlins, booty noodles. That's pretty much what they are. All right. Yeah, definitely send that to us. I'm definitely interested to see that.
Yeah.
All right. So tonight's review, which there are a ton of mixed reviews on this film. It's number 2 right now on Netflix. And my theory is, and we'll get into some initial thoughts, I think people are interested in a Tyler Perry film for 2 reasons. 1, if he's in it or not. And 2, just to see the wigs and to see all the hoodness about it. And it's always a buzz. Like I'll say that whenever it comes to anything Tyler Perry puts out, it's normally like top 10 on Netflix or whatever it's on, just because it's him and you trying to figure out what it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But initial thoughts, A-Trap.
I loved it. That's it. Flat out. Period. Point blank. It was I saw it as a male version, or a female version of John Q. It took me to. It made me think about my mother. My mother. I never seen my mother break down. Of course, she never had a nervous breakdown or anything of that nature. But I just my mother was a teenage mother, back-to-back years, 16 and 17, and she had me when she was 23, and my dad died in front of my mother, literally.
Oh wow!
And I was like, man, I wondered how many times did my mother come close to not this, but just I never saw my mother. She was always
breaking,
either happy or regular. I never saw her break. I never saw anything, but I wonder how many. It made me think how many times.
Good question.
My mother come to the brink of this, to just God damn, I just can't take it, and it's one of the reasons I work my ass off. Like I do overtime, stuff like that. Do everything I can to help the women in my life, my aunts, my lady, my daughter. That's why my daughter can call me in the middle of the night and have me Uber to her because she was at a party and had a little too much to drink and she was scared. It's those kinds of things. It's just the comfort that you provide. And it just made me, this is a movie that, man, it had me feeling sad. Like John Q, I remember watching John Q at the theater. And that was the first movie I ever felt sad in the movie. Like, damn, this is horrible. Because at that point, my son, I don't even think I had a daughter at that point. My son was just here. And I was just like, wow, how do you handle this? And then the plot twist at the end was insane. So, yeah, man, it was great. It just made me realize the world we live in, and you never know what somebody's going through. And it just conversations that you just, I spend a lot of time alone at work. 100% of my time at work is alone. And so I think about stuff like this, and it just brought everything to fruition. Sorry to be so motor mouth, but
it's
important. This was a dope movie to me.
Now, wait a minute. Just rewind a little bit. You said that's why you go hard for the women in your life, and you start naming some. And you said, say the women you were naming again, because I thought you said something about that rhymed with my lady.
No, I say that my lady, my children.
Whoa! My lady.
Yeah.
We ain't okay. Maybe I done missed a few episodes. I didn't.
No, I'll bring it. It is what it is.
Well, let me just make an apology to K-Rap out there.
That ain't her name no more, man.
Oh wow! What? Whoa, man!
I know this hurting you.
Dougie Fresh,
Hey, Trap. I know this hurting you. So
Okay.
That's all. I just missed the lady, bud.
What I want to show enough out here, though.
My bad. Sorry, K-Rap.
No, it's still saying K-Rap.
It's nigga slick now, all right? It's nigga slick. Nigga slick.
Dougie Fresh, you're on. Dougie. Oh, yeah.
All right, Doc. Initial thoughts.
No, he hit it right on in terms of John Q. I also thought about that movie Breaking that we just saw with the bank robbery. You know, the difference is the spoiler alert, the crowd cheering for her, you know.
Yeah.
It was probably the difference, but it's like they took a John Q and they took this movie and kind of mixed them together and came out with, you know, what it was. You know, in the middle of it, you know, I was right where A-Trap was. You know, I'm like, shit, this giving me everything. I was at a 5 early on, you know, because it was giving you so much, especially Taraji P. Henson's performance, you know. I thought was fantastic. Then when you come back and you give me a throwback like Sinbad, and I missed him the first time, you know, you throw him in there.
You know he is.
My fault. But anyway, so I enjoyed it, and I was interested in some of the Tyler Perry take, and it is out there. And I think Wilkes gonna jump right on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wilkes.
This was buzzing on social media. I think before it even came out, it just seemed like it hit social media.
I'm not gonna be long. I'm just gonna say
I'm not gonna hold you.
I gotta hold you. Hey, look, this is my opinions. They don't reflect anybody else's. This movie was trash. My mom, yes, I've been on the other end of that struggle with my mom in the thick of it. But this movie was garbage. So I'm gonna go with that. I leave it in peace.
No redeeming quality.
No redeeming quality whatsoever.
Okay.
I'll let them, which I'm sure there are some, but I don't care. So, we're gonna go with that. And by the end of the night, my attitude may have changed for this movie.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But right now, this movie's at a 0 minus.
I don't know that we've had such a big. In our opening comments, we had a mention of a 5 mic and we had a mention of a 0 mic on the same movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've had that big of a
I don't think we have.
Because here's the thing, I already know what Rolanda Wilkes is saying right now, and I can hear her. Shout out to Rolanda Wilkes. She's not watching, but I already know. I love you, Mom.
What's up, Poetic?
Well, go ahead.
I was glad they found a place to put Sinbad in the film.
The same place as his career. I didn't mean.
Wow!
I didn't mean to say that.
But you're right, because at first I was like, "Can they hear him talk?" But never mind. But go ahead, please continue.
He just didn't have nothing to do, did he?
Well, they put him in the wheelchair.
He hadn't been in.
No, they did not put Sinbad in the wheelchair. Sinbad had
a stroke.
Yeah, I was like, he had a stroke.
Folks, and it almost killed him. Sinbad really stand.
Oh, he was learning how to walk again.
So that was legit, huh?
Yeah, they have a video of him learning how to walk.
Well, take it back then. I gave him credit for a great acting role. Maybe if it's real life.
Yeah, that was probably authentic.
That was a real
not acting.
That was a real stroke.
They have video of him trying to walk again.
Yeah. Raider Kev, are you saying it's trash?
Sounds like.
I don't like you saying it's trash. That's what it sounds like. So you got somebody agreeing with you. Y'all know Sinbad got that condition. What you saying like that?
Slowly aging?
I didn't know.
What condition? Conditioner? Yeah, I don't know what that is anymore.
Big Illinois says TP, Tyler Perry, has been written and directed close to 40 projects, but he's still making first-time director mistakes, and a better writer would have helped. I appreciate that comment. And here's my first question.
Point out some of those mistakes, Big Illinois.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Now that I'm not sure.
Now he's saying no. I can't believe someone would call it trash. He's gonna let you know, okay? He's gonna let you know. I already kind of did a synopsis of the plot, but if you want to read it,
Oh yeah. Single mother navigates a series of unfortunate events, leading her down an unforeseen path where she becomes embroiled in a situation she never envisioned, finding herself at the center of a suspicion in an indifferent world. This was released June 6th of 2025. 10 days later, you're getting all this hubbub. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes. As we've mentioned, directed by Tyler Perry, produced by Tyler Perry, Angie Bones, Tony Strickland. Music by Teyana Taylor, which I gave a thumbs up on the music as well. Your cast mates include Taraji P. Henson, Sherri Shepherd, Teyana Taylor, Sinbad, Rockmond Dunbar, which played the police chief who looks like he could be David Wilkes' brother. Glynn Turman, which should be Thurman, but it is Turman. And Glynn spelled Glynn instead of Glenn, so his whole name. Played Richard, which was the mean boss.
Sure.
And then Gabriella E. Jackson played Aria.
All right. So my first question, I think we talked about this before. Do you have a different feeling about Tyler Perry films when he's not in it? A-Trap.
To be perfectly honest with you, I've only seen 2 Tyler Perry films. A Jazz Man's Blues and this one.
Oh wow! So you haven't seen any with him in it then?
I've never seen the Tyler Perry. No, I've seen one with Janet Jackson and she's a horrible actress. But but I haven't. That was cool. Now that I think about it, that was cool. But I haven't. I maybe it's me just being sexist or what have you. But I don't see Tyler Perry films being male specific. I kind of, maybe it's just because I'm looking at it from a.
Oh, you're right.
So I kind of like this. That's one of those movies you go see with your lady, and one of the, me and Big Illinois and Draz and the crew ain't for. Hey man, let's go check out that new Tyler Perry. Nah, it's not going to happen. Nah.
I would be a little concerned.
Me and Big Illinois, we talk all night because we both work overnight, and we ain't never said, "Hey, did you see the new Tyler Perry movie?"
Yeah, and we've reviewed 3 of his films. 6, what was that? 3.
I forgot about that.
666, 8 or something like that.
I forgot about 666. Yeah, I dug that. I dug
Jasmine's Blues and this, and we haven't done any with him in it. And I'll answer it and say, I definitely have a different going into it. I have a different thought process when he's not in it, because when he's in it, I immediately think Medea, and I immediately just won't watch it, or I'll have somebody else can watch it and tell me what it was about. But when he's not in it, a lot of his films are, to me, of a better quality. When you put Medea in it, it becomes, it just becomes not a good film.
Slapstick.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Doc.
Yeah, I tried not to look at it as being a Tyler Perry film, if that makes any sense. Taraji P. Henson to me is a caliber of an actress that no matter who's directing it, who's writing it, who's whatever, it gets some, level of credibility as far as I'm concerned with what she's done. And that's 100% compliment to her. So as far as I'm concerned, when you got her as your lead, you halfway home as far as I'm concerned. And that don't mean you can't mess it up. Hell, we know. I mean, even the great Eddie Murphy has been in a flop, right? I think, I think even Denzel has been in a flop or two, So it doesn't matter who the actor is. You can mess it up, but again, I didn't look at this as a Tyler Perry movie. I can see why it's number 2 on Netflix.
Yep, right
because
now
they're pushing it too. It's there, right? It's like, when you putting it up there, you putting it, when you turn on Netflix, some bitch is there. It's like right there in your face.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of times when folks see that, they're gonna dive into it, and watch it, So and think about how we watch TV and movies nowadays, and I don't think we talk about it quite enough. But how many other things we typically will do while watching a show or a movie or something of that nature,
Right.
We multitask. In fact, me and my wife, we have shows that we watch together. Some of them are shows that were fans of mine and she never watched, so we're watching it again just so I can get her reaction to the stuff, and vice versa. Well, one of those for her is How to Get Away with Murder with Viola Davis, right? The underrated Viola Davis, in my estimation. And she's watching it like, I'm like looking at her like, why are you asking me? I'm watching this because you watched it and said it was good, and you asking me questions, So she just proves the point that we don't know what we were doing. We could have been scrolling on our phone. We could have been cooking. We could have been doing some of everything while we were watching these shows. So, we don't know how much we don't get, so to speak. The fact that it's number 2 does not lend to its quality. But, anybody who's asked me about it since I've watched it, I said it's worth the watch.
All right. Man.
Speaker, I resented my time.
All right. So what you got? What you got?
What's bad about it, though? You got to tell me what's bad about it. Give me. Me and you are pretty close most of the time. So the fact that this is me and you that are polar opposites is
give us 3 bullet points.
Here's the funny thing. Like, I was excited to see it because before it came out, I did do like Remind Me Later on Netflix.
Right.
When I saw Taraji P, I'm like, oh, what's this? I'm thinking this is gonna be. She's sweating, so I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna be good. She must be nervous.
The whole film.
Yeah, I know. Like, ain't no AC nowhere. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think it was even really the movie. I think it was more of the people's reaction to the movie, because people were like, "Oh, this had my anxiety level up."
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't watch it. I'm like, what do you mean you couldn't watch it? And when I'm watching it, no, I've never been in a struggle to this height, but me and my mom have definitely been in that struggle where we sitting in the dark.
Yeah.
Literally eating out of canned goods because, well, we can't get any food in the house. So canned goods on the shelf. But I think more of my reaction is I think my mic rating is probably, as I always say, your anger is pointed in the wrong direction. My mic direction may be pointed in the wrong direction because it's more of the social media reflecting onto the movie.
Well, think about this. Let me throw this to A-Trap, and I got something to your point of why you probably have. This is a good reason not to like it because some of the critics are saying the same thing. But before I do, A-Trap, let me throw this to you. Wouldn't you say that may be the earmark of a great movie when people are feeling it and are so engrossed, it pulls them in and makes their anxiety act up or make it hard to watch because it's so engrossing?
I would totally agree with that, dog, because you're looking at a situation to where it's like me, it took me there because, for example, as being aware, I knew me and my parent struggled. I can't say we struggled because I don't remember ever wanting for anything. But what I can say is this: it took me back to December 13th, 1994. That's the first time I was actively working with what I call a good job, right? And I took my mother a gift, and it was something that she's given me time and time and again. I said, "Here you go, Mom. You gave me this." And then, because it was the first time in my life I could remember not having to save for her birthday, because her birthday the 13th, Christmas is the 25th. And she said, "Oh wow, I never had one of these." And I said, "Come on," because my mother was strict as a drill sergeant, but she was simultaneously one of the funniest people you ever meet. You can ask Big Boy. And I was like, "Why you've been getting me this since I was about 6 years old?" She said, "You thought they came and buy a child, get an adult free?" That moment,
right?
And in that moment, I heard every no that she ever told me, and it went from no to I can't afford that. But my mother was no nonsense. It was no, and it was like, okay, no, you don't say. But no. So it elevated. My mother was always my number one cheerleader, my number one supporter. My mother had a unique way of even yelling at me, "Brian, you're not stupid." Anything I get a C, and it was a problem. So, you know, she ran a tight ship, so it just changed. It just put my mother on a higher trajectory of excellence for me. So when I'm watching this lady struggle in this movie, like you said, dog, I'm feeling the anxiety, and I was literally feeling like I didn't appreciate my mother enough, because I know my mother, dude. You know, and I hate to harp on my mom like this, but my mother, this is my mother's life in a nutshell. 15, 16, having kids. Early 20s having me. Literally come home, my father complaining about a migraine. He sits up, start crying tears, and dies. A few years later, her father died. A few years later, her mother died. Now she raising 3 kids, working her way through school, working every day, and helping her younger siblings as well. And then, like, my mother, this is literally one of my favorite memories of my mother. My mom died 15 years ago in September. Be 15 years in September. We were watching the OJ documentary the first time it came on, and they showed F. Lee Bailey, and she was like, "That mother." I was like, "F. Lee Bailey, when you fight for your life, you wear my helmet." She's like, "He got me fired in 1972." I was like, "What?" And she told me how he became a union attorney, and they got fired. So I'm like, "Oh, it's 2010, ma." But again, think about it. Your spouse just died. You got a damn 2-year-old boy. You got adolescent kids. That's a lot. And
core memory.
Yeah. It's just like, damn, you know, it just, like I said, that's why I literally know the very first day I told my daughter no for something. November 8th, 2018, the first time I ever told my daughter no. And it wasn't because I didn't have it. It was because I was teaching her a lesson. I was like, "Bria, stop waiting till the last minute. Dad, I need $800. When you find out, last month, no." That's the first time I told my daughter no. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, "Ooh, it's you know," it's like, man, you know, I just remember me and my sisters asking for ice cream, and instead of my mother, "No, we ain't getting no ice cream." So what she did, she went to this place called Spiegel and got an ice cream maker and bought some tubs and made us ice cream from scratch. We thought it was cool, but it was probably more economical to do it.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, it just took me through my mom's life, and I was just watching it, man. You know, that's why, you know, and it just ain't no knock against Wilson. I don't think nothing else, but it's just. And I understand what I've lived in the shoes that Wilson's living in. Man, this movie the greatest, it's the greatest, it's the greatest, it's the greatest. But you watching it, you're so underwhelmed because you expected fireworks and you saw solid.
Right.
And so I get Wilson. I get it. I truly get that. But it's just my life. It just, you know, I don't know. And part of this is one of my very close friends died 7 days ago. Been my friend since 1985. Her daughter called me Uncle B. And she, you know, so think about this. Somebody you've been friends with since your freshman year in high school. Freshers called me, "What's up?" I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" "I got bad news. My mom died." "What?"
Yeah.
Oh, you know, then watching this movie. So I don't know if it's that.
Yeah.
No, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying, because whatever's going on in your personal life does affect your lens of how you view it.
Yeah, and I think it's like a pinball situation. Somebody's gonna overhear, "Oh, I couldn't watch it because of my anxiety." Somebody over here, "Oh, I didn't like it because Tyler Perry represented us like this." Then somebody's over here, "Hey, this is this. I know, you know, being short on my check, or the second job didn't come through. I didn't get." It is a blender. This movie is a blender of emotions. It is a blender of experiences. It is a blender of course, people are like, "Oh, the acting's terrible." It's just this movie. It was, honestly, as much as I watch movies, this movie was meant to strike chords. It was meant to hit those different chords.
Yeah, and so let me ask you this: was one of your problems, because some critics are putting it out there, and they're saying, you know, they went overboard with the number of tragedies she was experiencing at one time.
It wasn't even critics. Well, I guess you could say these were personal friends of mine. These were classmates that I grew up with that were the critics, if you will.
Yeah.
And yes, to Doc's point, I saw comments where it was just like, okay, are you really even giving it a chance? And like I said, when I watched it, I'm watching it trying to understand what my old classmate friends growing up in the neighborhood, I'm trying to figure out, what are you talking about? Because I'm like, your experience is not experience. It's not their experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like Doc has said a million times, a man with an experience is not at the mercy with a man with an argument. I was like, if I've been through this, who are you to negate what I've been through?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell A-Trap what he's been through. I know this movie is shit, but that's not my point. So it's one of those things. But at the end of the day, it's like, but I see that struggle. I see that because, hey, like I said, I'm eating manwich sauce out of a can in the dark because my mom.
Wow, he said manwich sauce. I don't think y'all understand what he's saying.
My mom is. That's why I told one of my friends, like, I will never forget the image of my mother as I'm playing on the Xbox. My mom is standing in the doorway of my room at 3888 in Highland Hills. Mm-hmm. Almost to the point like she's pleading. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like my mom is apologizing to me that we're going to be in the dark tomorrow. Do you know what kind of image that puts in my head in high school?
Yeah. No, so that speaks volumes. That's what mamas think. No, that's right. It is like, an apology move for them. It is a failure for them. Yeah.
Because your dad died in 94. Your grandmother, your mom, not your grandma, my grandmother, your mom died in 97. So to hear my mom stand there and see her stand in that doorway at 3888 in Highland Hills, Dallas, Texas, mm-hmm. with her hand like pleading, like, Mom, stop. So when she comes to 25 and 40 Texas,
yes, sir.
She wondered why she's treated like a queen.
Yes, sir, man.
She wondered why she's elevated. Mom, we've been through that struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why. So part of me, yes, I'm gonna have that tug of war tonight. The movie was garbage, but I'm not understanding, like, people that are so harsh on it. You don't understand what that person's struggle was and why it hits a ripcord with some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there's nothing like going next door, having to use the restroom at your neighbor's house because your water is off. Mm-hmm. Hello? Hey, you know those galvanized tubs where you're bobbing for apples?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a bath in the backyard with a water hose.
Yeah.
Hello?
Wow.
I'm that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing for me. Mom, I got you. Mom, I got this. Mom, you good. That's why it's nothing for. That's why when I see Doc give the way he gives, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is a whole different. You might can see the tears right now rolling down my face because. Do you try to understand?
Love it, man.
Really?
I absolutely love it. Love it, man. Love it, man. Kudos to you, man.
Say that. So the division between this movie, it teleported me back. I will never that image.
Yeah. And that might be why he disliked it so much. Because it was too painful to see.
It's trauma.
You know? Yeah, man. That's fantastic.
I will never forget that image of my mother standing there as if she needed to plead with me.
Yeah.
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 You brought me here.
Yeah, I love it, man.
What do I need to plead? What do you need to plead about?
Bravo, man. Bravo.
You lost your dad to congestive heart failure. You lost your mother to breast cancer and other issues. Mom, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I?
It's okay.
Yeah.
What? You don't owe me them tears?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. A-Trap, Wilkes, his image of his mom standing in the doorway is mine of my mom in the bathtub crying. And I'm at the door. I can hear her in the bathroom crying, you know. And I'm standing at the door at 8 years old, 9 years old, you know, are you okay? You know,
Right.
And you know, and unfortunately, we don't know enough to know what the hell can I do to relieve some of this pressure.
I'm trying.
Some of it, right?
I'm trying to understand.
Bandage, I'm trying to get the double chicken fried steak, and you trying to make me understand, nigga. We've not even supposed to be in here right now, and your big ass trying to get two.
You're trying to get the captain's back.
You know what I'm saying? So
you know, I never experienced struggle like y'all experienced, and that's the thing. That's why.
Wow.
My mother's a superhero because, you know, I was a dude. You know, I'm a dude. I was a dude even as a little boy.
Yeah.
Can I go outside? Is all I need. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's just I don't have any struggle memories. But when she said what she said, I got another funny story about my mom. 40 years ago, again, the Jordans come out. My cousin Andre, her brother Richard buys Andre at our crib all the time. Andre show up with some Jordans. I say, Mom, can I get some Jordans? She said, them $100 gym shoes? I said, yeah. She said, excuse my language, when the fuck is he gonna wear some Brian? So I'm about to motherfucker when he wear some Brian. Every time I see Air Jordan, I go, damn, he still ain't had no Brian. So I mean, it's just it was hard body, and I didn't ask for a lot. And you know, when she said, "I've never had this,"
that's why I said it. That's why when my mom comes over for Mother's Day or just randomly on the weekend, Mom, I got you. Mom, what are you talking about? Oh, can I? Mom, stop asking. Asking for what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? The nights we were in the dark, and I'm literally, like Doc said, I'm literally eating manwood sauce. Does anybody know what manwood sauce is? Sloppy Joe sauce. I'm literally eating sauce. Green beans out of a can.
And that's the thing. He's saying he eating it, nigga. You was drinking it. You ain't eating nothing.
Can I get a venti 2 pumps? Like what? Like stop.
All right. And they don't even understand the Highland Hills aspect of this whole thing either. So imagine what challenges come with that on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He in the hood.
Man, I'm in the hood, baby. The pinks, the blues, I mean, what we call an apartment.
Catfish Charlie right across the
Yeah, what you talking about, man?
You know?
The apartments are green and we calling them the pinks. Yeah. What you talking
that's good. You gotta...
Let me explain something to you. So when I was I guess I just graduated high school, come back from my basic and AIT in the military. I used to go try to hang out at Highland Hills because that's where the hood chicks was. What you talking about?
I'm saying. Man, that's why I said. That's why I said I will never forget those images.
Yeah, let me just remind the audience, man. Whether you're watching this tonight, whether you watch it later, or whatever the case may be, we often say we watch movies as an excuse to get together and talk shit to each other, you know. Yeah. And sometimes it's therapy, right? You know, like when you go a few weeks without having the shows and stuff like that, you don't realize how much the laughter is therapy, or you know, just the camaraderie and the conversation. And every now and then we come across gems like that. That is as far as I'm concerned, that is a pretty deep discovery right there. To figure out, you know, this is why this movie, he probably didn't know this coming in. This is why this movie, I hated it. I freaking hated it. Because
you plugging me back into something
it was PTSD. It was, you know, was fully immersed in it, you know.
Right. And I watched it just, you know, and like I said, I was already hooked when I saw the little snippet. I was like, oh, okay, well, remind me later. And when it finally came out, I'm starting to see murmurings on the web. Oh, I couldn't watch it. Oh, that's the point of drama. That's the point of acting. That's the point of directing and writing. Is to grab you. That's why your anxiety's through the roof. Your anxiety's probably through the roof because maybe you didn't struggle like the way that, and you thought it was overboard and outrageous and outlandish. Yeah. But guess what? The neighbor next door is struggling.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where it's like when I watched it, that's why. I've mentioned this to Ben, and I even mentioned this to my mom. It's like that image will ever be seared in my mind.
Yeah.
When my mom is standing there in my doorway as a teenager, explaining to me, thinking she needs to plead with me that, oh, I'm sorry that the lights are going to be out, or I'm sorry that you're not going to have hot water, running water. Mom, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Mom, please.
Yeah.
Get it, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Let's get to some comments here. And I think Big Illinois, is speaking to maybe your thoughts on the film, Wilkes. He said, I didn't compare it to John Q. I remember being in the theater almost in tears, watching Denzel about to shoot himself in the head to save his son. This wasn't cinematic, which...
Yeah. Well, maybe because it wasn't in the cinema. If you watched it in the cinema, maybe that changes it, doesn't it? No, so I'm kind of being funny, but I'm being serious, though. Doesn't that add something to it?
Yeah.
You at home surrounded by ankle monitors watching it, Big Illinois. You're not at the theater. The only popcorn you got in the microwave.
Oh, gosh.
Let's get props to Big Illinois, too. Me and Big Illinois been running since the early 80s. And I hope he don't get upset with me telling this. Big Illinois' mom passed away the August before freshman year. And Big Illinois saved me twice. That day, it was a couple of days after my birthday. We came out on the stoop and we just sitting there, My closest friend in the world just lost his mother. You a kid, you don't know what to say. I'll never forget him. This will make Big Illinois made me love my mother even more. Aunt said, "Yo, B." I said, "What's up?" He said, "You know how you get mad at your parents? Say they make you sick." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't say that no more, man." And all I said, "Okay." Fast forward 25 years, my mother passed away. And Big Illinois, like Wilkes, Big Illinois is apologizing to me because he was in the hospital with a damn respiratory infection fighting for his life. And he was unable to come to my mother's funeral. Yo, what's up? Man, what you up to? I said, nothing. He said, been on me. On my way. Jump in the whip, grab some brew. We sitting there, we start reminiscing, memory laning. We having a good time. And Big Illinois saved me again. Man, my depression and grief just hit me. And I guess he saw it. And I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
And I say, he say, "Hey, yo, what's up?" I say, "Man, I don't feel like I'm old enough for my mother." Now I'm sitting there 40 years old. I say, "Man, it's October. My mother died September 30th. It was like October 20th. I say, "Man, I don't feel like I'm old enough for my mother to be gone." And he wasn't even trying to help. It just naturally came out. He said, "Yeah, B, I know how you feel." And the burden, I've told him this about 50 times, the burden that he lifted off me that day, because at that point, I thought about Big Illinois. I thought about Pat Crisp. I say, man, 14 years old, you lost your mother. Pat lost his mother when we were 19. I'm like, dude, you sitting here feeling sorry for yourself?
Yeah.
Your two of your closest friends, they lost their mother when they were teenagers. You a fucking man. And it was just different, man. And I remember the nurses coming over and he was like, "Look, you're doing a great job. You should be a nurse." I'm like, and I literally told him, I said, "Dude, I wouldn't." I said, "Man, I wouldn't be able to do this for nobody but my mom." I was like, and I literally told her, I said, "Dude, somebody else's mama would die with me as their nurse." Oh, yeah. Like what say, man, I was extremely low maintenance as a child, man. You give me a pair, I was getting football shoes from the coaches and the teams, so I didn't need that. I was a good enough player that they was paying for me to get in these baseball tournaments and stuff like that, so I didn't have to ask my mother for anything. But dog, let me tell you something. Dolores and that put a walk through the door at 5:52 p.m. without fail every day. I'm talking about one day. I remember the snow was literally knee high. I said, "She gonna be late today." As soon as I said that,
I'm
she
gonna slack
walked
off on these chores today.
That's exactly what I said. She gonna be late today. She walked right in the house. What? Man, 6:35 p.m. I was eating every day. So, you know, to watch this lady struggle, like I'm telling you, and you're right, dog. It might just be with Wilkes. Like, oh, I don't want to face that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dog, I was just sitting there like, this is insane.
Yeah.
With my mother, I remember my mother had pneumonia, walking pneumonia. Came in the house. She was breathing hard. She still made me dinner. And it scared me to death because she my only parent. This is my best friend, my superhero, the whole thing. And she joked again, my mama being funny. I said, "You okay?" Because I'm scared. She said, "Yeah, either I'm having a heart attack or I got the flu real bad." Man, I almost jumped out the window stressed. Like, oh my God. I'm making in my 10, 11-year-old mind, I'm making plans like I gotta stay with Rita. I gotta stay with Lorraine. Those are my mom and dad's sisters.
Right. Yeah. You start
computing. Barely breathe. She gets out of the bed. And I'm sitting on the bed like, oh my God, I ain't got but one parent. What am I gonna do? And she gets up out the bed. She said, "Brian, you okay?" I say, "I just don't want you to die." She was like, "Boy, I'm playing." I was like, "Oh." Right. So watching this movie, man, I'm a great father. Dog. I'm not good at a whole lot of things. It's a lot of things I have extreme shortcomings at.
Yeah.
I'm a great father. And when my mother, I was
apparently this is one of your shortcomings too. You gotta finish it for tube socks.
So what's for the BOGO sales?
And I found out I was a great son because I was coming in the house going to get her meds. And I heard her on the phone say, "I'm so proud of Brian right now. You could have bought me for $1 that day. Yeah. I could get shot right now."
Wilkes, how many of these?
So I get it, Wilkes. I understand.
What's that?
How many of these tube socks you think ended up sticky?
It's probably a 9-pack. You get a 9-pack at least the next J900s. High top, low top.
the ones with the red lines at the top.
Had the green and gold lines on mine.
Oh, green and gold. My bad. I wasn't around when they started selling the shacks there, but you know.
Green and gold, and then it was red and gray. Why did they have red and gray? That was whack.
Right. This is Raider Kev's comment from earlier. I think we kind of cleared this up. He said, "Wait, so you judging the movie based on other people's opinions and not yours."
Well, I mean, I think that's in what we do.
Absolutely.
We fight that every week, don't we?
100%.
You know, and in fact, you know, we are in a certain sense giving our opinion to have an effect on how you see it. In fact, you know,
I mean, the movie's
people who are really good at that get paid for folks to give you an opinion, so it can sway.
Because it was so mind-boggling to see some of those comments. I'm like, yeah, y'all know we came from where we came from. Now stop acting.
Well, maybe it wasn't, but here you go though, Wilkes. That's another thing. Maybe, you know, we were fortunate, and I must say fortunate enough to be able to see it clearly. Right. You know, so there's a lot of people that may have struggled but just didn't see it. You know, like
they didn't want to.
You know, like you just think about Queen 3 and King, right? Me and the season Queen, we had a very different view of childhood than the baby queen and the educator queen. You know, just because it was a different time. Their dad wasn't around at that point. It was single mom. They didn't see a whole lot of single mom, you know, and what she had to do, and her mentality was different, you know.
Exactly.
They don't see, you know, they don't understand. This is the mama that's carrying the 22 in her purse at all times, and they ain't playing no fucking games with nobody. So when Abraham talks about the he talks about the kind of father he is as a father who's continuing to develop.
Yeah.
Understand that? I remain teachable.
Oh yeah.
Hell, I'm still getting used to having to explain those because I've never got to know explain to me.
Yeah. And we
Ever. You didn't even dare ask
it.
You just moved on.
That was the answer. It was
you just went to your room and cried.
The exclamation point or period was implied. I didn't need to ask no follow-up.
And I don't think we understand. Well, maybe we do. I don't think we understand how finite and how close that razor's edge is.
Yeah.
From hey, this was my experience. Matter of fact, we talked about it on the show last week. Your grandparents are going to have this other image of what when raising your child, from what the grandkids are going to experience.
Yeah.
Your grandkids are going to have this grandmother, he acting out, he acting crazy. But then you have to bring it back to the grandparents' reminder that, well, excuse me, you wouldn't let me blow my nose backwards.
Right.
In a certain setting.
Yeah.
But you're giving them a pass. So it's another one of those things where it's just like the grandparents' remembrance of things is how quickly it's diminished because now the grandchild is involved. Let me ease up a little bit. So what the grandchild is experiencing is nothing what the actual child is going to experience because now you're the grandchild.
Yeah.
I don't have to pass this on to the grandchild. I took care of this from the first generation. But never mind.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start preaching. We're going to leave that where it is. But anyway, so it's one of those things where me and H-Rap had kind of experienced that in that conversation last week. It was just like, what are you doing all of a sudden? This isn't the last, excuse me, you would have wringed my neck if I would have done something like that.
Right.
But now that the grandchild does it, they just being kids today. Excuse me? I was just being a kid then.
Well, here is me inserted into that scenario as the granddad.
Yeah,
I'm Papa, and my younger, I only had 2 grandkids at the time, and they were jumping up on my bed. They had come over to visit me, and they mom and daddy was in the living room. Me and them were in my bedroom, and they were jumping up and down on my bed, and I was standing at the foot of the bed watching. And my daughter comes in there and just screams, "Daddy!" I'm like, "What? What you doing? What you mean what I'm doing? You letting them jump up in the bed?" I'm like, "Yeah, they heard nothing. You'd have broke our neck if we'd have jumped up in the bed." I was, "Girl, get out of here."
All right, I hear what you say.
They're just minding their own business.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we having a good time in
right,
there.
Exactly. Yeah. So
and they went back in there and I heard them talking about it. Can you believe what he in there doing? They talking about how crazy I am. Man.
Of course. Yes. Because we got our asses handed to us when we were doing something like that. With your shoes on at that.
Yeah. Big Illinois.
I give him that one. I had high hopes for Teyana Taylor. I give him that one, and I didn't.
They made her look.
Ain't nobody walking like that.
Who's on the hair team?
Yeah.
Who's on the hair and makeup team in Tyler Perry County? Because the minute a film is released, when you go to social media, they can say her wig was turned the wrong way, the part wasn't right, the makeup was off. That's one of his things he got to work on because it was very clear. I was watching it with Erica, and she's like, "Man, she don't look right. Like she got strong features. We know that, but it's they went too far."
I think as one of my classmates said, the wig was throwing it off, and they made her look old. Now, Teyana Taylor has these features that she presents herself. I don't know. Yeah, you would just add makeup and a wig. I don't know what else you would do to it, but
yeah.
I don't know. It was one of those things.
I think her doing the negotiation, I thought that was cool. I was cool with that part. I think the Rockmond playing the
I don't know, man.
That was not a good role for him.
It was.
I'm glad for what Mika said.
It wasn't believable. Mika said, "I hated her Michael Jackson hair and makeup," and I love Uncle Mike.
You said you didn't like it.
Mika, excuse me, Mika, do you remember the time?
You said you didn't like the chief role, Ben?
Nah, man, it didn't seem. So at some point when he was like, "Nah, you can't do that." It was like it was off. It wasn't flowing. I think he looked the part, but then when he started talking, it wasn't hitting.
Right.
I couldn't focus on shit he was saying. No way. I was just looking at, is this Whip's real daddy? That's how
Probably.
Yeah. I'm like, I've not seen this before.
Was y'all feeling some type of way about Glynn Turman? I always think of Glynn Turman in that different world. Yeah. And when he was cussing out, I was like, Glynn.
Yeah. There's been a couple of movies that Glynn Turman has been like that in.
He's going to forever be that Glynn Turman. I think he's going to be. It's just like Bill Cosby is that dad.
Right.
Glynn Turman's going to ever be that teacher. He's going to ever just be that instructor. He's going to be that professor.
But you know what? Again, I've never experienced that. I've seen it though. I've literally had to. I didn't cuss the person out, but I've had to fire someone under those circumstances.
Really?
I mean, like I've experienced. I'm telling you, dog. This was. You know, I thought Minnie Riperton was singing to me. Back down memory lane.
Back down memory lane. I saw a photograph.
Dollars is going crazy over here. Excuse me for a second.
Oh man, when that whole scene, like that was tension. You thought it was gonna go one way. I knew he wasn't gonna give her the check because he was clearly like, you are a bad employee. I hate you because you're such a terrible employee. So when she came back, I knew he wasn't gonna get the check. But then when the dude came in the doorway, I'm like, all right, this is a little off. But the way that whole thing went down,
I saw that coming, man.
I didn't see that coming.
The second he walked in the doorway, I knew they getting robbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think she was gonna shoot both of them.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
She was like, I done had enough of your shit. I'm about to, you about to die today.
But that's the microcosm of what's going on in our community today. We don't have the empathy. I've had several arguments. Like if you were ever in a room with me and one of my good friends, Craig, you would think me and Craig didn't like each other because, and I'm like, dog, you know, he got this pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality. And I'm like, no, dog, everybody ain't got boots, dog. And some people don't have boots. And why didn't you do this? And I'm like, dog, I got a college educated family. I had educators in my family. I got hard workers in my family. My grandmother, my dad's mother used to tell us about life. So it's kind of hard, you know, if you got they're mad at you or disappointed in you, it like, man, why don't you just whoop me? Don't tell me none of these, your mama was making 17 cents a year stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, literally, dog. That's a real thing. And so
they would talk you to death. They wouldn't even whoop you. They would just talk you to you.
I've seen Glynn Turman, the person, the store manager, in full effect. And I know of someone. This girl, she was 19 years old. We were at work, and the manager said this, and I was thinking, I should punch you in the mouth because somebody said, "Oh, you big and pregnant." I wouldn't know what to do if I was 19 and pregnant. And the manager said, she knew what she was doing when she opened her legs. I was like, "Oh, you a piece of trash." So I'm telling you, dog, this entire movie resonated with me, man.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many things that I just was like, yeah, I remember that. And you know, and then it just made me think, like, if I wasn't such a low maintenance cat, my whole life was built on, can I go outside now? If I had some sneakers, can I go outside?
Yeah. And that whole bank, which the majority of the film, spoiler alert, was at the bank. But that interaction with the people, let's talk about that. The interaction, you had the older couple that was behind them, like, look, this we fought and we marched for all of y'all to have these freedoms, and this is what you do with it. And you had another lady that's like, look, I know this is what you're going through. I'm kind of in your corner, but again, you're gonna have to walk out of here. You can't. What you think the end result will be? Right. Then you got the staff that's in there. I mean, that was to me, I would compare that to a, not fully, but the director of the guy that does the screenplays. We reviewed one of his films, Ma Rainey's.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottoms.
Yeah, the director.
Austin Wilson.
Wilson. That interaction in the bank.
Do they say the Black Bottoms at the same place they say the Red Bottoms, or those different?
He's simple, man. He's bizarre, man. I'm sorry.
Right.
But that whole interaction, I felt like was like A-Trap said, was like a microcosm of us, like as a whole. Like we don't all think the same way.
Right.
Some people are gonna judge, some people are gonna agree.
That's exactly right. That's what I like
for themselves.
100%.
That critique did not come from the other race. That critique came from us. That was our community.
We
like saw it a little differently.
Honestly, when I saw that scene, when he talked about, I was in the war and we fought for these moments for you to have these freedoms. That's the first thing I could hear was, oh, well, wait a minute. It's like growing up, it was almost like, well, here's two ways I look at that scene. The one scene was, you think because I'm young, I have no value to put into this conversation. Mm-hmm. Because you've already looked at me as a young buck, as you would say. I don't know what I'm talking about. Or that's what's wrong with the young people today. They don't appreciate. No, I do appreciate what came before me and what happened. As A-Trap or A-Trap definitely, if you don't know what's going on around you, if you don't know what went on behind you, you're not going to know what's going on in front of you right now, what's going on around you. The Black Eagle talks about that. So it's one of those things where it's like, don't you wish to say, please don't shortchange me. Just, I know I have a younger aspect on things, but I respect your view on trust me, you've definitely laid the way. You've laid the foundation. You've paved the way. You've sacrificed. You've lost buddies that help you sacrifice for this moment. So it's one of those things where I've always heard like, oh, these young people, they don't appreciate. They do appreciate it. They're not probably showing it the way you think they should show it in the appreciation. So, and another way I saw it was, oh, the young people don't appreciate what this older generation has done for us. Well, it's definitely a double-edged sword. It's definitely, and this is all of my opinions. I mean, anybody can, if you feel to chime in. But
for me, I'm listening. You speaking for me.
It's one of those things where it's like the young people see it as, well, they're not listening to me anyway, but this is how we're approaching it. You had your moment. Like I told my son, Andre, he'll be 21 in July. July 9th, he'll be 21. Like I told Andre, I was like, Andre, my generation obviously didn't. We tried to do it, but we didn't have the answer. The generation after me and before me didn't have it. It's going to be on you. Your little groupies, your buddies. But guess what? I know y'all all busy building what you're trying to aspire for. But it's gonna, when you get older, your generation's gonna have to try to figure this out. It's gonna be bestowed upon you. It's gonna be laid at your footsteps. You don't see it right now, but guess what? When push comes to shove, it's gonna fall in your lap. Have all your fun, have all your families you're gonna have, and all your family and parties and whatever else. But guess what? At the end of the day, it's gonna come down to you. Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's just like I saw both angles of this conversation. But when he was speaking, like, oh, we fought for this, and honestly, I hate to be a spoiler. The way they scurried out of the bank later in the movie, I felt like that's the way they. I felt like it was. You don't know what you got until it's gone.
Yeah.
See, don't get me wrong. I call the movie trash, but trust me.
yeah, it was some stuff to stick out to you.
There was.
You have one mic now. We get that.
Yeah, believe me, the way they were allowed to scurry out of that bank,
Mm-hmm.
It was like, man, I should have listened to what they said before me, but I didn't catch that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch what they were trying to tell me and show me before
Mm-hmm.
they passed on or were carried on. In my house, there are many mentions, but never mind. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, those small little things, it was just like I'm catching these things. Like Doc said, maybe I don't want to keep reliving this. I don't want to see this again because me and my mom's already been here.
Yeah. That's a
We've
lot of
already
pain.
done this.
That pain and that struggle and just seeing like nothing's going right.
Right.
You come to work. She was at work for not even 15 minutes.
Right.
And then you fast forward to the end, which we'll get there in a minute, which was a lot, which kind of tied everything together. All right.
Only $3.99. Only $3.99.
We done discounted it because the economy went bad.
Yeah.
It's more valuable now.
They know tariffs over here, but yeah.
All right. So, she's in the bank. At what point or at any point did you guys think like she's mentally she's not there? And when I say mentally she's not there, like she's so disconnected from what's going on that she can't
well, there's medicine
be in the moment.
Didn't they bring up some medicine in this thing?
They did.
So, okay, that was only for the. Well, I started thinking she may be missing her dose of medicine too. Shit is what
she may have been taking her daughter's medicine. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah, it was something up with it though. I thought. Yeah. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was just purely the effects of. Yeah. I didn't think it was just purely the effects of life and all the things that were, snowballing on her. It was an avalanche of things. In fact, that's some of the critics, have a problem with the fact that the problems came at such a relentless pace. They're like, shit.
But see, that's the thing, man.
Real life.
That's real life, dog. I mean, hey, man, I've experienced it.
Yeah,
I've seen it experienced. I mean, dog.
That's what makes them weighty. Sometimes it's not that each individual thing is you can't hold. It's the fact that they all happened at one time.
Yeah, man. And then that's the part, man. It's like people always look at things like that and go, it ain't never that bad. For some people out here, it's that bad. The fact that my mother could laugh and joke with us every day is a minor miracle, Jack.
Yeah, that's why they call it a medicine.
Teenage mom, love your life, die.
Yeah.
Boy, I come along. Dog, it's just I'm watching this, in retrospect, and it's just like,
what I say?
Yeah, Mika said she had that Whitney Houston sweat
what
going. I knew something was up. She was sweating the entire film. There was not a moment when she looked.
I told Ben today. I was like, she sweat like Whitney Houston, like that brown coming out.
It was more than that brown that was coming out. That was it. That white girl.
Whack is whack.
Hey man.
And then think about this.
I need a little bump.
If you going, you were literally praying to God, because I've been there. It was sometimes like, okay, I'm gonna take y'all back. A couple years ago when I had that accident.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all know when we used to get off here? I used to have a ball on here. I used to be high as a kite on pain relievers.
Yeah.
Mid-show, they would wear off. I would literally have to walk over to the couch and lay there because I couldn't walk to my bedroom.
Yeah. So you're in pain, yeah.
You're in pain.
Yeah.
So she, that was just me. My children are adults. Living that type of anxiety, and you got people that depend on you, like Wilk's mother. Oh my God, how do I explain to this boy things that what she watching you had a time in your life.
Right.
Knowing tomorrow.
Right.
It's over. You will not have this fun for a while.
Right. Exactly. Come on, Interrupt.
That's why I liked it so much because dog,
the
fact that my mother didn't snap on me, dog.
Right.
And it just made me go, damn, what the hell was she dealing with? Right.
That's why, and to H-Rap's point, like he said, here's a mom trying to explain to somebody that's, I'm kind of oblivious, but because I've watched you lose your parents,
right?
Mom,
yes.
Hey, guess what, Mom? Hey, guess what, Mom? God got us.
Man,
I watched you literally lose your dad in 94, December the 10th, 1994. I remember the date. Never forget it. You lost your mom November, December November 1997. 3 days before Thanksgiving. But guess what? My 10-year-old cousin died the same day of the funeral. Excuse me. I never felt the pain like losing. You lost your mother the same day we were supposed to bury your niece. She was 12. She was 11, 12 years old. This is November 1997. I couldn't even imagine what it's like to explain to your sister. Your sister doesn't even know yet. Your sister has to come to the house to get ready to be driven to the funeral of your mother. But guess what? The funeral of her daughter.
Yeah.
The funeral of her daughter.
Wow.
Well, guess what? Your mother has died on top of that. Your mother has died the same day, hours before the funeral. Gentlemen, when I tell you I've never felt a pain like that in my life, I don't even know if I could reenact that pain. I couldn't even measure it because that pain.
Yep. I get it, man. Yeah.
That's what she experienced. Really, the entire film. There was no let up.
And that's what I was like, Mom, you don't owe me a cotton picking thing. Excuse me, Rolanda Denise Wilkes.
And I think that's why she gravitated. That's why she gravitated so much towards that cop. Towards the end, when she was like, "So I need just one thing to go my way,
right?
And I just need y'all to believe me that this is the cop. This is what happened."
Excuse me. The word of God. I think where I read, if two or more are present, touching and agreeing.
Yeah.
Right.
Excuse me. I only need these two to believe.
Yeah.
Right.
Hello. If these don't pray for me, surely these rocks will cry out. Well, never mind. Let me, as the pastor would say, let me run on.
All right. So the ending, which completely threw me. And even at the end, Erica was like, "Damn, did Tyler Perry write this?" I was like, "Yeah, he wrote, directed, and produced it, and everything." But throughout this entire film, we thought that, at least I thought, I'm sure y'all thought, that the daughter was alive and she wasn't literally the entire film. She woke up, and I think you're just in trauma, and you're in shock that you're just going through the motions of the stuff that you just do every day because you have to do it.
Oh, we get that man request, by the way.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm wrapping it up. We got about 7 minutes left.
Yeah.
But yeah, that ending definitely threw me, and I think that kind of really put the bow on the film because you just thought, all right, she's about to go to jail.
Yeah.
Sherri Shepherd's character is going to take care of the daughter, and it was at a point where she said, "Yeah, they already told me that." So I'm like, at what point was this said to everybody? And obviously she knew, but she just couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah.
Doc, give me your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it wasn't. The daughter was being dead was kind of a surprise, but the fact that she got popped at the end wasn't. That didn't throw me. I heard a lot of people talking about that through. They expected her to walk out, or go to jail or get a reduced sentence or whatever the case may be.
She did walk out.
No, the cop getting popped. The cop that who got shot at the end. The cop that got shot at the end.
You stopped. It was that was an alternate ending. You stopped.
Okay. That was the alternate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But now the daughter being sick, that threw me for sure. I didn't expect. Obviously, just like everybody else, you expected her to be somewhere,
Right.
In foster care or whatever the case may be.
Right.
I didn't see a whole bunch of, people said I got thrown for a loop here, got thrown for a loop there. I didn't see it. Always was a 50-50, wasn't it? Whether she walks out alive, whether she walks out or she doesn't. Those kind of things were just 50-50 to me. So I didn't consider them wild. Just thrown. Okay, wow, Tyler Perry did this. You had to educate me on that. What Tyler Perry did that was so spectacular and non-Tyler Perry like at the end. I didn't see it, I just saw it as 50-50 shot, Yeah.
Hey, Trap, give me your thoughts on the ending.
Oh, the ending was extremely interesting, man. I mean, it just shows you, man. It shows you the power of the mind. Again, I can relate because I remember that Tuesday morning, my man Nolan went over his house Sunday. We set up the fantasy football. And he was telling me he was better. And I came home Tuesday morning, 9:14 a.m. My phone rang. Greg said, man, Nolan died. Before that phone rang, I said Nolan dead. I don't know what made me think that. And it didn't register.
Yeah.
First and only time in my life I went to the morgue. I had to identify Nolan. And I was like, Nolan ain't dead. Because Nolan was this type. Nolan was a jokester, and I'm like, this one of Wood. We used to call him Big Wood. So this one of Wood's jokes, man. I'm on my way to the morgue, telling myself this is a joke. When I get here, Nolan's gonna walk out of the morgue like he would do.
Yeah.
And it's just, hey man, and hey man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I've never shared this for like a year. I literally said, man, I'm gonna bump into Nolan. I've been to Nolan's funeral. And for a year, I said, man, Nolan is going to turn one of these corners and he's going to tell me he ain't dead.
Yeah.
And I had been to his funeral. That's Nolan Posey at the morgue on Van Buren, on Harrison and Damon. And so I'm telling you, dog, this movie shook me up because, dog, I'm telling you, I have experienced more death since my mother died than I did. I'll be 55 this year.
Yeah.
More people have died since I turned 40 than died the previous 40 years.
Yeah.
February, the very first human being I ever called my friend, James Barnes Jr., died. They had to hit him with the electricity right in front of me. So this movie shook me up.
Yeah.
Mika probably needed one of my cinnamon rolls while watching it.
Right on.
Since I had to watch the ending twice, I was confused. Thought I missed something while I was texting. Yeah, because they did an alternate. One was they came in and mobbed the place and they killed her. The other one was that she backed out.
And they did an alternate sequence on another earlier event too, didn't they? Where they showed two different ways that it could have.
When she went to school. When she left the school. Yeah.
That was them showing what she had been through that whole day, not registering that she had literally checked out mentally, thinking she dropped her child off. And everybody in school like, girl,
that's why the principal's
nobody wanted to say it. Nobody could tell her.
Yeah, she was in a dissociative state at that point.
Carrying that blanket at the beginning, she was carrying the blanket, which I thought maybe her child was
I
in the
knew
blanket.
something was wrong when you let the kid out on the left side. You let the kid out on the right side. I knew it was something wrong.
That's because that door was dented in. You couldn't open it. That's why.
Come on, man. You think I didn't catch that, man? You know how many kids I done let out on the right side, man? Yeah. You passed it on my right hand.
All right, man. Mayhem, thoughts on the ending?
You know what? Honestly, for me, I love a great twist. Mm-hmm. So for me to think this movie is trash, it's conflicting wars there. But because tonight I've let you into a little layer of mayhem.
Yeah.
I love the ending. I understand Tyler Perry's trying to move into that.
There are these redeeming qualities.
He's trying to move into those. That psychological kind of thriller, if you will. No, I actually enjoy the ending because I like those twists. I like those. Oh, you didn't see that coming, kind of directing and writing. Right. And of course, me sharing, my situation with my mom, and like I said, we went from a 0. I might give you a 3. I'm gonna give you a 3, Mike.
Pretty good job.
I'm gonna give you a 3, Mike.
You know what? I'd like to see you watch. I would like if you watch this again after having this conversation with you.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely will watch it again because I was excited when I first saw it. I didn't even realize. I didn't even connect it to Tyler Perry. I just saw Taraji and Henson. I was just like, I watched this. It already had me like, okay, this is going to be crazy. But yeah, no, to H-Rap's point, yeah, I definitely watch it again. But yeah, no, I didn't mind sharing those things, and I don't mean to blabber on and, once again, I'm not trying to take over the show, but it was one of those things where I don't mind showing you those aspects where I grew up in Highland Hills because that was how I was growing up in Highland Hills. After my mom had lost her parents, this is what we got.
Yeah.
All of that. Chips, this is it. So it was one of those things where, I enjoyed this. To the point of
out of 5.
No, 2.5.
Then 2.5.
Oh.
2.5. 2.5 mics.
I hear
he got 2 mics.
He's prison bad or something. I don't know, but anyway, but it was just one of those things where I enjoyed it. I enjoyed having this conversation because I wanted you to see, like, hey, if we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna give you trauma. Hey, like Doc said, maybe I don't want to look at this shit again.
Yeah,
I've been here once before, man. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
So I went from a 0 to a hero.
You going to 3?
I gave you a 3, man. I gave you a 3. That's all you're getting. That's all you're getting.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
All right. Doc.
I'm at 4 mics with it. I thought it was again, this is how I look at it. How would we have seen the movie if we didn't know Tyler Perry had anything to do with it? Would we have liked it more? Would we have given it more? You follow me? And that's how I have to judge it. For the record, people know I'm not a huge Tyler Perry fan by any stretch of the imagination. I've said that on this show. So for me to give him a 4 on this, tells you, and then in the middle of it, I'm so engrossed in it that I would have given it more than that. I mean, it completely had me sucked in, to where, when somebody came and tried to talk to me while I was watching it, I paused it. And I don't do that all the time. I'll just keep letting it roll and I just keep talking, but I paused it because I didn't want to miss what was being said,
Yeah.
So I give it a solid 4, and I think H-Rap, you be able to weigh in on this part of it. It may be one of the best things that Tyler Perry has done.
Oh yeah.
I would say I like Jazzman's Blues better, but this will be my. It ain't like I'm reaching on 4 movies. It got 4.
You ain't got a lot to measure.
Well, if this is the only one. This and the Jazzman Blues will be the only 2 I will watch over. And then it's just I enjoyed it. I would do like 4.5 There was some flaws, but I don't care about no flaws. It was just a hell of a story. It made me look at this community. It made me look at the way we treat people. It looked at, like Will said, the older people talking at young people instead of talking to them. You know, that wagging of the finger thing is dead, y'all. It needs to cut. It needs to be.
And why we tripping about somebody wig being off? That's real life too. Shit, you go to a bank, you go to a police station, you go see that every day.
Come on, man. We out here taking the side chick out with the wig off, man. Come on, man. See, you ain't complaining then, man. Come on. Y'all stop, man. Y'all stop, man. Y'all stop, man. February 15th, man. Y'all know what y'all doing, man. Chill out.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did go into it already with more expectation because, like I said, he wasn't in it. So for me, and this, I would compare this to, as far as rating wise, 688, which was the film we reviewed as well, which I felt like was great. I think we get out of 5.
The only movie that I've watched with Tyler Perry in it wasn't even his own movie. It was a Star Trek when he was on the council. That's the only time I've really seen him in the. Like, I've never watched any of his movies with him in it because I already know what's happening.
Alex Krauss.
I didn't watch that one. I didn't watch those. I
know the new Cross is a monster.
Is he in the new Cross on Amazon?
That new Cross is serious, boy. That's serious.
Okay. He ain't, you know. Okay, all right.
But I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. It was good. It was good.
And I forgot to give the tomato meter was 50%. Popcorn meter 72%, Metacritic 56, IMDb 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's Bean. I'm looking now. I saw this preview of a movie, and I was going to suggest that we do it at some point.
Yeah. No problem. I put in the chat. Plane. It's number 1 on Netflix right now.
Yeah, I started that, but I haven't finished it. I started that movie.
Plane, Train, and Automobile.
Great holiday movie.
Yeah, that's a throwback. It's a white family.
I'm gonna drop the trailer for this movie, and y'all tell me what y'all think.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Will it be the 4 of us? You got to tune in to find out. Okay, go ahead and close this out, H-Rock.
I'm still Combat Jack again, man. Thank y'all for tapping in. Please continue to support BS3, support Into the Bench Media. I got something I'm cooking up. It's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna be the dopest thing I've ever done. I need y'all to support, subscribe, like.
I heard cooking.
If you are watching on BS3 on the YouTube page, please wait till this ends and comment. It puts this program deeper into the algorithm, and it helps push this in front of people. So do that, and do it if you're watching online as well. That being said, as Combat Jack, aka Reggie O'Shea, used to say, "Dream those dreams." Rest in peace to him, first and foremost. Dream those dreams, and man up, a woman up, and live your dreams. It's life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolor surround sound. 2 fingers, 1 word. I'm H-Rap. Those are the fellas, and we out.
That's what we're reviewing next week.
Our flight has gone down. This is an emergency.
Survive together or die alone.
We're getting off this island.